Hey everybody, welcome to episode 95 of the Toys for Games podcast. We are recording this on a Tuesday night, the first night of November 2016. I am one of your hosts, Josh Brown. I am joined by the man who is still potentially hungover from his Halloween candy extravaganza, Jason Greer.
Good evening, Josh. How are we doing tonight?
Beautifully, my friend, beautifully. Having a great night so far. We talked a little bit about Halloween in the limited edition version, but I want to go back to Halloween because, it just happened last night, right?
Right.
First of all, big props to you for having the full-size candy bars for the trick-or-treaters.
Get that fun-size bullcrap out of here.
Yeah. You're a man. You're a legend among men, my friend.
No, tell me one person who's ever called those things, would actually call those fun sizes,
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So did you actually stay home and hand out?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you just put a bowl out on your doorstep, or?
Yeah, I put two Barstool things from my outdoor patio set. And just set two bowls out on top of those with a sign.
See, that is impressive because people that do that usually just put a big bowl of the junk candy.
Right.
Because they're not there to monitor it, so they're just like, whatever, somebody takes this entire bowl, what's the difference?
Right.
But to go out there and just put full-size candy bars out there, unsupervised, unattended, whew.
It's the town we live in.
Sure. I feel like that's part of it, but also it shows a lot about your character.
I do what I can.
Yes. You had a good time going out with the kiddos, though?
Yeah, super good time. Yeah, like I said, I typically enjoy being out there, but like I said, it's gotta take the time you can with my nephews and stuff since they can. They're able to actually go out trick or treating, so it's a fun time with them. So
right.
Figured it'd be more fun to go out with them again, so I decided to go out. Sure.
Myself went out with the kids. Had 5 of the 6 kids. The 16-year-old is a little too old for trick-or-treating.
Sure.
Just a little bit. And, he wanted to stay home, relax. He didn't even feel like going out and getting in trouble with his friends, which, I mean, you only live once, my friend. And I'm trying to tell him, like, be a teenager. Both myself and his mom understand that he's a good kid. And he works really hard. He takes a lot of AP classes. He does sports, all this stuff. And it's like, you could get into a little trouble every once in a while. Just a little, like
right.
Enough to make me feel like you're enjoying your teenage years just a little bit. Because once they're gone, you don't get them back.
Sure.
Yeah. So he stayed home, but we took out the other 5 kids. We went over to a friend's house who lives in a gated community. I didn't really realize what we were getting into until we got there, which
sure.
It's a very nice little neighborhood. It's like 60 houses or so, just in like one giant circle. So not super huge. But the best part is like it's gated, so you don't have people coming in just to trick or treat in the neighborhood and then leave, which eliminated the potential of anybody driving around. Nobody driving. Because everybody that lives there is just walking around this big circle.
Sure.
And everybody knows each other and everything like that. But the amount of booze that was being consumed by adults on this night of trick-or-treating was something I have never seen before.
Really?
Right. Yeah. Like, I understand it. I understand why it was happening. But I've never actually seen it to the proportions that I saw it last night.
That's odd.
Every adult was walking around with some sort of open container. I mean, there were ladies walking around with just straight up wine glasses. A lot of people had just like their red Solo cups, Sure. There was this older lady. She was probably pushing 70. She was taking her grandkids out. And she ran into me twice. Because she didn't see me in front of her because she was so wasted. And she, like, you could just smell the alcohol on her. Like, I don't know how many glasses of wine that woman had, but it was far too many. And I was like, okay, you're in a gated community. Everybody knows each other. Like, you're not supposed to have alcohol walking around in public. Like, that's illegal. But cops aren't coming in to bust people because they can't. I mean, they could, but they're not going to. Also, nobody's driving, so I felt better that nobody was going to be getting into a car because they're just going to stumble home and then pass out.
Sure.
But at the same time, I was like, this is like a night to be with your kids and go around with them and make sure they're having fun. Like, adults could have Halloween parties on the weekend and, get a babysitter for the kids and go out Saturday and party it up with fellow adults and other parents that are getting rid of their kids for the night. But it just seems kind of weird to me to get completely loaded when you're out with your kid trick-or-treating. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, not enjoying the experience either, probably.
Yeah, and the kids are just running around doing their own thing, and they're just like stumbling around, running into other adults. If somebody has a bottle, they're filling up cups and it was super strange, man. Super strange. But the other thing is, because most people were out and about trick-or-treating all in the same neighborhood,
nobody was home?
No, yeah. So most of the houses just had like their bowls out in the front yard, in the front porch. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, we're just walking around to each other's houses that nobody's home at. We're just doing this circle. Why are we just buying candy just buy bags and then just fill up your kids' bags and call it a night? Like, that's all we're doing here.
And it is funny because I think different neighborhoods go at different times too. So like, the one neighborhood that we went was behind my sister's house. When I was growing up, that was a super kid-heavy development. So probably the same thing. Everybody was in and out. But now it's a lot of people whose kids are now in college and beyond, so they're at home. So it's probably different developments are probably different hotspots at different years.
Yeah, super strange. But the kids had a great time. That's all that counted. We had fun. We didn't get rained on, which is the first time, and I can't even remember how long that we didn't have rain on a Halloween night. So super encouraging. When we left, we actually went to my aunt's neighborhood real quick at the end of the night, which was like 8:30. It's kind of late for trick-or-treating at that point, especially on a school night.
Sure.
And swung by, kids saw my aunt and family, and that was fun. But she was saying how kids in her neighborhood started at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
4 o'clock. I was like, that's a little egregious.
Yeah, ours is 6 to 8.
Okay, yeah, that's normal. Like, just as the sun's starting to go down, like, you don't have to wait till it's fully dark, but
right,
not like when people are still getting home from work,
Yeah, because there was a couple of people that I was yelling at my sister one time because we were like, they were telling their kids to go knock up. There was a guy like backing his car into the driveway. I was like, "Hey, come back." They're like, "No, I think there's somebody home." I was like, "No, he's backing into the driveway." And they're like, "No, home." And the guy's like hauling tail through his kitchen to get to the front. And then he's like, "Sorry, I got home." I was like, "Oh, it's okay." I was like, I told you." He's like, "Oh, I didn't even see." I was like, "I just told you, his car's backing up." Making a poor guy like run.
So Halloween, it's always an interesting night, and when it's on like a Monday or like middle of the week, it's always a stranger night than not for kids that have school the next morning. But overall, it was a raging success. So
I'll say it felt weird being on a Monday because it felt like all the weekend, all the Halloween activities per se were happening.
Yep.
And then like when Monday came, the actual day, you're like, all right, today's actually the day.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, the ones I never liked when it was on like a Friday night.
Right.
Just there's a lot of stuff happening on Friday nights, and so I was like, it was just too much going on. But yeah, Monday night just felt weird.
Sure. Saturday night's like a solid night for trick or treating.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, like on Instagram and Facebook and everything, like everybody's posting like their costumes like all weekend. For random parties that they're going to and everything. So by the time Monday morning rolled around, I wasn't even thinking anything about it until I went into a store and I saw, employees dressed up in costumes and like, what? Oh yeah, it's Halloween today.
All right.
It's still not over. This is still going. Yeah. So, fun times to be had by all. Quick update. Actually, you know what? I need to say something here real quick. I would like to give a special shout out to our dear friend, Atari Alex,
Mm.
who you can find on Twitter at Atari Alex, Alex Correjo. He has a podcast. It's called the ABC Podcast, and it's a really good podcast. I suggest everybody check it out, especially this next week's episode, because yours truly was a guest on his podcast, and I had a blast. We talked for almost 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a Friday night. He didn't have anything to do. I didn't have anything to do. So we just went to town. We went at it.
Good for you.
It was fun. So I definitely want to push everybody over there to check it out. Even if you go and just listen just because of me, I appreciate it. I really do. But give Alex the chance to impress you with his podcast, because it is really enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. And also, I kind of feel bad because he does sponsor our Collector's Edition podcast, which we haven't done in a couple months.
Sure.
You've been busy. I've been busy. We just haven't been able to make it work. One of these nights, I'm just going to trap you and tell you we're doing the regular podcast and then just go into the Collector's Edition. It might be the only way to actually get it done. But because he sponsors that and we haven't had a chance to give him what he is sponsoring, I did want to take the time out of this podcast at the beginning to know that you should follow Alex on Twitter at Atari Alex. Go look up the ABC Podcast on everywhere where podcasts are sold. I'll be putting out the link when the new episode is up with myself, so be sure to check it out. And go over there and just tell Alex thank you, because thank you. Cubs
7-1 still.
Who do you got tomorrow night? Game 7.
Cubs.
You think so?
My pick all along, Cubs in 7.
You did say that after Game 1.
I said it before Game 1.
Okay.
I said before first pitch. 100%. Go back and check the timestamp.
Well, I was going to say that was even more impressive because the Indians won the first game. So you still picked the Cubs in Game 7 after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'd be coming back from a 3-1 deficit on the road.
Yep.
Game 7. Yep. Feels like destiny a little bit, right?
Yep. I feel like it feels like this is what, like, I feel like they're either going to win a 7 or lose on a walk-off. You know? Either the Cubs thing to do.
Yeah. That would be. I
tweeted out, though, I feel like it's on a Wednesday night, so it's not going to be it. But realistically, if you really like baseball, this should be the most watched World Series game of all time. Game
Absolutely.
7. So it's two great teams that fully deserve to be there. Cleveland earned their way there after a hot start. They lost their pretty much entire starting lineup, pitchers. Worked their way in there. Cubs obviously are the pick of all along, but still they have the history behind there. They got, they're due their due. Two teams that haven't won obviously in forever and a day. So it's everything you'd want in baseball. So, right. And there's not that many, there's stars on the team, but not like your stars, I would say.
Sure. There's not a lot of household names for sure.
Right.
Like, you have to be a baseball fan to know pretty much anybody on either one of these rosters.
Right.
Like, Coco Crisp might be the most recognizable name to non-major baseball fans.
Sure.
Just because he's been around forever and his name's Coco Crisp.
Right. So good.
You know what I mean? Like, other than that, like, there aren't a lot of players that you've heard a lot about over the last few years.
Right.
They've been quietly doing their thing on both teams, and here we are.
Yeah, I was listening about Coco Crisp. I'm one of those people, I don't really like people changing their names to, crazy weird, I'm very old-fashioned stuff, but
sure.
I can't hate on Coco Crisp. That's freaking awesome and hilarious.
Right. Meta World Peace, that's too much.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Coco Crisp, though, yeah, you could have that one.
The guys down in South Carolina changed their name to Transformers names like Optimus Prime. I'll give it to you.
Sure. You get a pass.
I have no idea how the judge allowed it, but,
Sure.
It is what it is.
Nobody's done Megatron, right?
No.
Okay.
No, yes. No, they did. 2 in the same state.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Sorry, I got distracted. 7-2. Home run.
And there we go. Maybe we're not going to get Game 7.
Oh, we're getting Game 7.
Also, shout out to the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Woo, number 12.
Wow. That was quite a jump.
Way too high. Way too high.
That's what you get for beating Ohio State.
Oh, my goodness.
Enjoy it.
I just feel like they're gonna get too cocky now and get blown out in Iowa against Iowa. They're good. Don't get me wrong. They're good,
Sure.
and they're better than they were at the beginning of the year. Definitely not 12th best team in the country.
When I saw
Definitely
the rankings
not.
come out, I'm like, okay, Texas A&M, Washington, 4 and 5. That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay,
Stupid.
Ohio, Louisville, Wisconsin, Auburn, Nebraska, Florida, Penn State. What?
Yeah.
Who did they beat this weekend? I can't remember.
I mean, to be fair, we took Purdue to town, but they have like an interim coach, and they're in a whole heap of trouble right now. But
yeah.
it makes no sense.
Well, I'm sure the locals are eating it up though.
Oh, they are. Absolutely, they are.
Yeah, fun times if you're a Penn State fan or a Penn State student.
I mean, if they win this game, they could absolutely run the table.
Sure.
Michigan loses 2 games. They're I think it's Yeah, Michigan has to lose 2, I think is what it is. I know that for sure. I was trying to remember the second scenario.
Right.
But Michigan loses 2. Penn State's in the Big Ten championship game.
Sure.
So,
well, even so, like they could just win out, and because they do have to rely on Michigan to lose 2 games to get into the championship. Like even if they don't get into the Big Ten championship, but they just win out, like their win over Ohio State is still good enough to get them into a really good bowl game at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Like they don't have to even worry about the pressure of a conference championship game and just go out and do their thing and be fine.
Right.
And all their toughest opponents are behind them now.
Yeah.
So
smooth sailing.
Yeah. It's good to be knitting lion. Let's just
put up 60 points. 60.
Whew. I was following along and it was a close game, and then like I checked it after I don't know about an hour or so, and I was like, what? How did that score happen? Like, where did that offense come from?
People know I'm not a person who I hate the concept of not rounding up the score. Like they weren't actively trying to be jerks about it.
No.
But in college and above, high school, okay, take it back some.
Yeah.
But college stuff, most kids are getting a full ride to college because their football, they have no excuses. It's a Big Ten program at the end of the day. It's not like some chumps community college.
Right.
But and again, like when they're running it up at the end, they have their backups in, the whole entire backup. So again, let the backup quarterback get some. It's essentially a practice and a scrimmage at that point, So who really cares?
If your team isn't stopping the backups, then you deserve to get beat up a little bit.
And again, the one touchdown was like an 81 run by Saquon Barkley. Like, what's he supposed to do? Run out of bounds? You see a hole. You gotta take it.
Yeah, running up the score is the most ridiculous thing. Unless, like you said, like if it's Alabama playing like the local community college just to give them a rub and give Alabama an easy win, like they should probably keep it under 100. You know, put in 4th and 5th string by halftime, call it good.
Right.
But any other team, especially teams in your own conference, look, whatever happens out there happens.
Like those high school scores where you see like a girl's like hardcore preparatory school beat some like punk private school like 100-2 in basketball, like girls high school basketball. I get it. Like I understand the outright. Basketball also I feel is the most awkward one not to run the score up on.
Right.
Because like what you just pass it for 30 minutes? Like I don't know what to do,
Victory formation starting at halftime.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's insulting. You're just passing it around like playing keep away. Like that's just worse in my opinion. I would just be like, can we just call this? But
yeah. Can you get flagged for taunting at that point?
Yeah.
Strange things. Sports, good times. Let's kind of get into the show, shall we?
Let's do it.
Big thank you to our executive producer, as always, George Torres, who, I wanted to give a special shout out to George Torres because, Val, my fiance, for those that don't know, she does full-time eBay reselling. Sure. So she goes to Goodwills and thrift stores and anywhere else she could get stuff. She buys inventory and then she resells it to people on eBay, because people on eBay will buy anything, absolutely anything. So the other day, there's a Goodwill, which is like the nickname of this particular kind of Goodwill is called like the bins. Which it's essentially they roll out these giant bins full of stuff. Like if you go into a Goodwill, stuff is on hangers, stuff is neatly put on shelves. there's a rhyme and a reason to everything, and everything has its own price. Like, it feels like a retail store, right?
Sure.
Essentially. But then there's these other types of Goodwills, and it is actually a Goodwill, but they don't process anything. So all the donations that they get in, they just throw it in these giant bins, and they just roll them out there. And it is your job as the customer to just pick through everything and find anything that you may want to buy, and then eventually just check out. And it's all priced by the pound. So it's like $1 something per pound, and then once you get over 25 pounds or so, then it goes down to like 90 something cents a pound.
That's interesting.
So no matter what you're getting, it's just all pay by the pound.
Huh.
So a lot of potential for some really cool things, right?
Sure.
And because nothing's processed, stuff is just all kinds of random stuff. Like, some people like will wear gloves because you're not really sure what you... Yeah, you never know, right? But you'll find like a shoe. Not a pair of shoes, like a shoe, and you're like, that's a really cool shoe. I have no idea where the second shoe is. So then it's, you can go spend the next hour trying to find a matching shoe. She got like a new pair of the Apple headphones, like the headphones that they give out with their phones and whatnot.
Sure.
That was probably just in like somebody's pants pocket or something. She found those in a bin, and that's like 3 cents, because it doesn't weigh anything,
Doesn't weigh to it.
So, you could buy those for like $30 or something like that. Something egregious. So anyway, the other day she was there, she found this track, it's a USA Olympic unitard, essentially. Like a speed suit. And she's been like doing all this research, trying to figure out what it's actually from. It's Nike branded, but it's definitely USA. It's definitely Olympic themed. But no other indications as to anything. Yeah, so she's just been doing nonstop research trying to figure this out. I almost like texted you. I was like, this is kind of obscure, but you have some
copyright year on it?
No.
Like on the tag?
No.
Huh.
Yeah. No indications at all. But I'm like, you know some weird things about Team USA that, like, there's a
I know my Team USA outfit.
Yeah, there's a potential that this might be something up your alley. But I was just sitting there and I was like, where would we find out information on this thing? And then I was like, you know what? How have I not texted George Torres yet? Because if anybody's going to know about this, it's going to be our friend George Torres.
Absolutely.
So I texted him a picture. He's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, here we go. So he helped us track it down. We're pretty sure it's a speed skating unitard from the 2008 World Championships or 2010 Olympics.
I was going to say, 2008 wasn't a World
right.
Olympics.
Yeah, he's not sure if it's a World Championship or Olympics.
What in the world?
Because there's no indication as to what, but it's definitely not something that was sold commercially. So to have this, you would have had to been on the team or know somebody on a team that would have had this to participate in.
Sure.
It's not something you could go and be like, oh, I'm going to go pick this up from my athletic department and pretend to be a speed skater for a little bit. This is not something that's easily to get your hands on.
So bizarre.
But no tags, like there's not even a size. Like I asked him, do you know how sizes work or anything? He was like, I know they have some sort of size scale, but I'm not sure. They don't put it on any sort of tags or anything like that. But it's the most bizarre thing. I'll send you a picture of what it looks like. But yeah, so shout out to George Torres for helping out. Because yeah, there's things that people are particularly knowledgeable about, and it pays to know people sometimes.
Like I said, like I've told us before, like I love people who are really good at just whatever it is. Like I always appreciate, no matter what it is, somebody's just really good at whatever that thing is.
Right.
But same thing like that. Like I love people who really just know a lot about something, like random instruments, like weird historical instruments. Like I remember I was watching this video of some weird, like the things they used to play silent movies, like they just play the musical with the soundtracks on it.
Oh, right.
And there was like some YouTube video of a guy playing one, and he was playing like the inch keys, and there's like 13 still in existence. Like, so, like I just find that stuff fascinating. I don't care what it is, but I guess I appreciated that like people know the history of like just random items.
Yeah, that, like, you know, if you are searching online for several hours and you get nowhere with it, and then you just have that info in the top of your head, like that's phenomenal.
Yeah. Or my favorites are the people like on the streets from different countries, so, like different food or fruit can like cut them into crazy shapes or cut them super fast, or like any different like food vendors on the side of the street. Yeah. I could watch those videos all day. It's just fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So,
is that where she found the Penn State shirt then?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. Did she send you a picture of that?
Yeah. She said she got it at a thrift store, so that makes sense.
Well, I don't know if it was that one actually, to be honest with you.
Oh, who knows?
Because she goes to other Goodwills and whatnot. But what's up with the red on that, by the way?
No clue.
That's not like a normal thing that they've ever done, right?
No. Do you know what Penn State's original colors were?
Huh.
Black and pink.
Wow. I did not know that.
And the black and pink, they had on a flag, and it faded, so it became like a dark bluish color and white. The pink faded to a white, and they're like, we like that, so it switched to that.
Okay. But they've never worn red for any reason whatsoever?
Nope.
So strange, huh?
I don't know if they made it for a celebration of some event or something or other.
Who
knows?
Yeah.
It looks cute, though, so.
Yeah, and she was like, I don't know what Nittany Lions are. I'm like, that's the mascot. She was like, really? Yeah, it's a story, yeah. I was like, it's like the Ducks or the Beavers, but it's the Nittany Lions. And she's like, I don't get it. I'm like, no, most people don't. It's it's a thing. Anyway, I just sent you a picture of the suit that we were talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it. What in the world?
Yeah, right? Where would you find information on that?
No idea. That's so weird.
All you know that is Nike and it's USA. There's no other indication at all about anything. There's one tag on the inside and it just has like, this product was made so-and-so, but no, like not even what type of fabric it is, nothing. There is a handwritten number on the inside, but no idea what that number means or signifies.
Sure.
But crazy, huh?
That is nuts.
Yeah. So big shout out to executive producer George Torres, who I'm hoping to see in a few weeks when we go down to Disneyland.
Nice.
Yeah. He might be in Arizona that weekend, but we'll be up before the weekend starts, so we're hoping to get in a dinner or something with him before he takes off.
Sure.
So we'll see. It's a couple weeks away, my friend. Couple weeks away.
So I'm distracted by Googling imaging myself.
Yeah, I mean, good luck. I mean, I started going through, and then I realized like how many different uniforms athletes wear for different sports and different reasons.
Sure.
And yeah, it's
so weird.
It's crazy. Also, big thank you to our show sponsor, as always, our dear friend Devin Lachinsky. You can find him on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel over there. youtube.com/user/DLASCH2. That's the number 2. Thank you, Devin, as always. Before we get started, I do want to put out a quick reminder. The Extra Life 24-hour gaming stream marathon is happening this weekend. I will be doing it all day Saturday from midnight to midnight, 24 hours. Colin says he's going to stop by, play some games with me. Who knows? Who knows if he's going to or not. Either way, I'll be stuck at the house playing games all day. I'm going to be playing Skylanders. I'm going to be playing Lego Dimensions. I've been saving the Ghostbusters story level, and I'm probably going to retry the Mission Impossible level pack. Hope to get that finally completed. And then the Adventure Time level pack, I want to play through that. So I've been saving all that content for this stream, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm currently putting together a list of games I'm going to be playing. I'm trying to make a rough schedule time-wise as to when I might be playing the games, but that's always tough because I may just like not be feeling a game and then want to switch it up. So it's going to be a rough schedule, but I'm going to try to put together something. I have a couple things I'm going to be using for some giveaways. Might do like a raffle type situation, like a $5 donation gets you entered into the raffle, something like that. I'm also pretty close to pulling the trigger on officially doing a tier-based system of donating X amount of dollars will get you something or another, specifically telling me to play a specific game, or doing something like our friend Alex tossed out there, eating a hot pepper.
Yep.
Hot pepper gaming reviews are a very popular thing. So I might make that a thing where if somebody donates a certain amount of dollars, I will do a hot pepper gaming review or gaming session, trying to play a game while dying from a ridiculous hot pepper. I don't do well with heat, so I'm already dreading that. But he also, threw out the possibility of handing out Shopkins to strangers at grocery stores. No, Alex, it doesn't work like that, my friend. Good try. But, I can't leave the house. I have to stay there and stream, so that's not going to work out. If strangers want to come to my house, I will gladly give them all the Shopkins I have, but I want to do some fun things like that. So to make it fun, make it exciting, motivate people to donate to the cause, and try to raise some money for the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. It's a good time. I have joined the Kind of Funny team, so hopefully we'll get the stream promoted at some point. But yeah, if you guys want to watch me play games, it'll be over on Twitch TV/Toys for Games. All the info is up on toysforgames.com, of course. But if you're interested in donating, there will be links and stuff there. But if you just want to watch me play games, hang out with everybody else in the chat room and have fun, like, the door is going to be open. I want everybody that possibly can to hang out and come by and say hi and encourage me, because it's going to be 24 hours, and that's a long time.
Long time.
Yeah, but ending it at midnight, I think I'm doing it right this time, because ending it at midnight, I'll be dead tired, but then I'll be able to go to bed, sleep for like a solid 10 hours or so, wake up, and still have my Sunday to enjoy.
I'd say it's a good plan.
Yeah, I don't have to do much on Sunday, but at least I'll be like a functional person. So... but that'll be fun. Of course, I'll be tweeting out, and once I get some a rough outline of what I'm going to be playing, I'm considering possibly even like a Smash Bros tournament during the day.
Sure.
Encouraging the community to play along and do something with that. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited. With that being said, let's go ahead and start the show with our dear friends, the etc. Column of our franchise that we talk about. They're not really etc. though, because there's some big things happening, and I definitely want to talk about Lightseekers and Beasts of Balance, two very completely different games that are entering the Toys to Life genre, both of which we've featured on our podcast. We have helped promote their Kickstarter campaigns. We have updates on both of those games. Before we get into that, I do want to say that this segment is sponsored by our friend Christopher Long from Long's Toys. You can find him on Twitter at the letter C, Long83, and over on YouTube, youtube.com/user/Long's Toys. So Jason, big news of the week here. Let's go ahead and get started. Lightseekers, what's the update?
Yeah, so Lightseekers is officially fully funded.
Woo!
So all ready to go. So your credit cards and various payments will be charged, but thankfully for a good reason, hopefully.
Yes.
But yeah, so Lightseekers is officially a go. So all you people who didn't want to feel like donating because you're not sure if Kickstarter is going to blah, 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 now's your time. It's officially a go. It's ready to go. Going to be in production. All hands board on deck. So they currently have $211,000, basically $212,000. Pledged their $200,000 goal, so they're $12,000 beyond their goal. 1,400 backers so far. But again, not time to give up yet, as there are some stretch goals they have. So they're, even if they go beyond the goal, which obviously they have, there's other stuff to gain as well. Let me pull up the list here real quick. I just had it. Where'd it go?
And there's just over 60 hours.
Yeah.
So there is time to jump in or to change your pledge, to up your pledge, to add on things if you want.
Yep. Yeah. So now's the time to do add-ons. I can't remember if they let you do add-ons afterwards. I don't think they do. I think it has to be locked in also by Friday by noon. So it's Friday at noon Eastern, this coming Friday. So that's Pacific time, 9 a.m. So make sure you have everything ready to go. But you have to hit 225,000, which we're, getting super close to. Get a exclusive Kickstarter pet, an exclusive in-game pet for all backers. We make it up to $250,000. Additional combo abilities for all backers. 270,000 is bonus loot chests hidden in a dungeon, and then $300,000 third playable hero exclusive character skin for the $25+ backers. So there is some stuff to do. I thought there was. Oh yeah, there it is. If we hit 5,000 backers, which doesn't look like we're gonna hit that. They were going to do a live stream with the first 15 minutes of the launch party. So some stuff in there. Some Facebook, Twitter followers, YouTube subscribers. So again, even if you're not donating or not really donating, but pledging money for the Kickstarter campaign, there's other ways you can get involved and help unlock other quests as well. So be sure to head to kickstarter.com/projects/playfusion/Lightseekers, or just go to any of our social media plans because we have tweeting about it all the time. Definitely check a look there. Various ways you can help. But yeah, I mean, it's the article there talking about Lightseekers now is, I wish I should have copied over to a word count. It's a long thing. So
yeah,
all kinds of sweet information, images, behind the scenes. I mean, you're seeing what you're getting. So that's what I'm saying. That's what's so great about this particular Kickstarter is that you're not really funding an idea. You're just helping funding the finalized product. It's ready to go. They're getting ready, finishing, putting some final touches and stuff. You're just humping with the distribution of it all.
Mm-hmm. And this being funded will ensure that this, happens a lot quicker than it probably would have if it didn't get funded. So,
right.
Super exciting. And, you can still get in on the early bird specials, which saves you some money on the starter packs and whatnot. So there's still reasons to donate. The stretch goals, definitely, that's a big thing. But the most important thing here is that they got funded, and the Toys to Life community together kind of rallied and made this happen. And that's exciting. It's exciting to see. I'm glad that they didn't have to go into the last few hours of just waiting to see if it was going to happen or not. They were able to enjoy their entire weekend, and now they're just smiling and popping champagne bottles up until the Kickstarter ends. And good for them. Good for them.
Yep.
Also, side note, I was just checking out other Kickstarters that they backed themselves, because I'm just curious,
Sure.
They backed the Fidget Cube, which we've talked about on this podcast.
Did you just get the email? Did you back it?
I did not know.
Oh, man.
I forgot about it.
I just got an email while we were podcasting. Apparently, I didn't even notice. I haven't kept up the updates on those. I put my money in and just waited till it shows up at my house,
Sure.
But apparently, there was a poll to a Kickstarter exclusive design, I guess.
Ooh.
So you saw the background design, color scheme poll. Let's just get straight into it. Design that you all chose the scheme to officially join a lineup of Fidget Color. Oh, so I guess maybe it's coming out available for everybody. But it's called Gamer, G4MER, and it looks like a SNES controller.
Oh, sweet. Okay, because they already have a retro version.
Yeah, so it's gray, but the buttons, there's 5 Cuckoo buttons are green, blue, red, and yellow.
Oh, that's awesome.
So.
Also, did you see what their final total was?
Dude, unbelievable.
Their goal was $15,000. And they racked up $6,465,690. They smashed their goal like nobody's business.
So good.
Oh, I love that so much. It's such a brilliant product. And the fact that it's never really, no one's ever made anything like this is the most surprising thing.
Sure. How do you see what they backed? I don't know you could do that.
So I was on the Lightseekers.
Oh, do you have to go to No, okay. Sorry, continue.
I was on the Lightseekers page, where it says their backers 1451, their total. Then there's a green button that says back this project or whatever.
Yep.
Then Play Fusion, it says first created, and then next to it says 11 backed.
Got it.
Yeah. So you can see what they're supporting, which is a really cool feature, Because it's nice to know the people that you are backing are also backing others.
Sure.
And you can kind of see where they're at, like, as a company and, where they stand on certain things, if you really want to dive into that. So,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, congratulations, Team Lightseekers.
Yeah, if you go to the Fidget Cube, you can go to updates and you can see the scheme for that.
I just closed out of it.
Oh well. That's the NES one.
Yeah.
I'll copy the image and put it in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Also, kind of speaking about Kickstarter a little bit, a game that was funded on Kickstarter many months ago. We featured them on this podcast. We met them at PAX East. The group behind Beast of Balance, the board game that is also entering the Toys to Life genre in a new and different way. We've been anxiously awaiting that game. I feel like it's safe to speak for you as well on this. We backed it. We supported them. Also, that Fidget Cube is awesome.
Dude,
it's so beautiful. I
so
like
good.
That. That was like earlier this year, like it felt like it was going to take forever to that thing for it to be manufactured and shipped out. And, they told us by the end of the year, and we held them to that, knowing that, delays happen and whatnot. But even knowing it was going to be at the end of the year just felt like it was going to take forever to happen. Well,
right. They're
on a boat. And we're going to be getting them in just a matter of weeks.
And they're not just on a boat. This is my favorite tweet of the week.
This is why I wanted to talk about this, because of what they're doing to tell people exactly what's going on with their product.
So there are 4 ships? 4 ships carrying stuff. There's one in the Noble of OOCL Miami, which arrives in LA on November 12th. One in the OOCL Bangkok arrives in Southampton on November 16th. Currently off the Japanese coast, our 3rd shipment is being carried by whatever. And then our final shipment to the UK is upon the mighty OOCL Korea, which is zooming to Southampton at 21 knots. You can click these links and track the freaking boats.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking like GPS stuff. You get freaking wind speed and like timelines, builds and stats. I spent way too much time with this thing. I didn't know you could do this.
I didn't know that was a thing either.
Yeah, you can't see like what the cargo is and stuff, obviously. But like, it's super fascinating.
Yeah. They sent out the email to all Kickstarter backers saying, "Hey, this is happening," and in the email, I was just reading through it, and it's just like, this is why I love these guys so much, because they're talking about how there's this map of the entire world, and they have the lines drawn from where the cargo is leaving and where the port is that the cargo is going to. And it's like, this is a really nice map with some really solid green lines. And if that's your kind of thing, you should print this out and hang it over your bed and look at it, because it's such a great map. And it's like, I love you guys so much. This is so perfect.
It's so funny.
Like, I know it's coming in like 3 weeks. You don't have to show me the route of the boat, but at the same time, I love the fact that they did, because it's just so real,
Right.
You don't get that kind of behind the scenes look for stuff that you buy on a regular basis, and they're so proud of this game. And you've seen all the videos of them over in China at the manufacturers, like in watching the process happen and being a part of the whole thing, and just step by step, they are just absolutely soaking this in as much as they can, and kudos to them.
So good.
But we have a couple weeks. As soon as I get my hands on it, I'm going to be playing it. I'm definitely going to be probably, periscoping it or making a more proper video and doing reviews. And it's going to be a game that we play in this house a lot. I could already tell because I'm excited and I know the kids are going to love it. It's just so awesome. And I'm just so happy that it's going to be here and it's going to be my own. And it's good times, man. Good times.
Good times.
Yeah. Let's see here. I think that's it for that category of games. So, with that being said, let's move over to Lego Dimensions, which is sponsored by another friend of ours over in the UK. A lot of UK representation on this podcast so far tonight. James Holian. You can find him on Twitter at Infinity Museum. He is sponsoring the Lego Dimensions segment on this show. So, Jason, what's going on with Lego Dimensions?
Yeah, so Lego Dimensions this week. The big news that came out today is Arthur Parsons did a interview with the folks over at MuggleNet, which is a Harry Potter fan website and podcast and whatnot. They're talking about the Harry Potter content in Lego Dimensions, and it was a pretty good interview there. I actually appreciate how they did it. At first I didn't like how they handled it, but I was like, that's actually kind of makes sense. So they broke up everything that he said into like 6 different sections, told you what they were going to ask about, and you could click and listen. Then it was like a 1.5-minute audio file versus trying to skip through, trying to find relevant information per se. So it was kind of nice for me to digest, especially when I'm getting a phone call every like 30 seconds. So it's hard for me to, break it all up. So nice in there. But yeah, they talked about Harry Potter content's currently out, stuff about the Fantastic Beast, again, pushing about how it's like a direct representation of the movie, and you are playing through the movie and whatnot. So I talked about that. But then they pushed for some more information on the Hermione Fun Pack. Some weird confusion as far as when the release date is, because Arthur Parsons says he thinks Wave 3, and then the article says like the final wave, which is not what he said in the interview at all. So I don't know if he got clarified by PR, who was obviously with him in the thing. That wasn't really explained at all. So my theory was he's probably, which is understandable, they're probably talking which waves in this season. Like he's probably knows it's coming in Wave 3 of this season, like season 2.
Right.
And so if you take that into effect, obviously remember we had that split wave with one in February and one in March. So we got that 7.5 and 8, because Wave 7 split into 2. So probably coming in that second, because we know a lot. We already know it's coming at Wave 7.5, but the Wave 8 we know a couple of things. So I'd expect it to come in Wave 8 is my bet, and that's in March.
Yeah.
But the big news is that it comes as the Hippogriff, which is a mythical beast featured in the Harry Potter universe. As I said, it's not a Harry Potter creature per se, like something that Harry Potter made up as a mythical beast across multiple forms of literature, but still plays an important role in the Harry Potter universe. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything on this podcast since I know somebody doesn't know what it is yet. So put in there, but it looks sweet. Like obviously the picture itself is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it in Lego form. I think they could do some stuff on there. They say it's going to turn into 2 other animals. So one they think it's going to be an owl, which I could see. It's the same color scheme. Then he said the other one could have been Crookshanks, which is not the same color scheme. But I have another idea of a different cat it could be. So I don't know if it's going to be a cat or not.
I love that Arthur just seems to kind of say whatever he wants to say. And sometimes he gets in trouble for it, I feel like, but like, and some information he gives isn't necessarily always right, but he doesn't really care either. Like he's just excited to talk about the things that he loves to talk about. And I appreciate that, like he does have PR breathing down his neck, I'm sure, and wanting him to stay on task and not accidentally reveal things. But this isn't the first time, and it's not going to be the last time. Right.
And I mean, obviously PR is in the room and they pushed for it. And he seemed to be wanting to give that. Like he seemed over excited to explain. So it seemed like he was going into that game ready to share something on it. But I think it's good. I mean, obviously if he's not sharing correct information, that can be a little bit of pain in the butt. But this is stuff that like Lego themselves can't do. Like they can't just come out and randomly tease stuff. Like it'd be a weird, people probably get annoyed with it, but he can. And I think it's great to keep Lego Dimensions in the news. I mean, there's no harm, any foul with saying that this is it's not going to take anything away from the actual reveal.
Right.
You know,
right.
like we said about a lot of times with Disney Infinity characters, you know, most of the characters we get revealed were a huge shock, you know, coming at. So, you know, obviously you can bring the whole debate up Disney Infinity stuff, which we talked about for you as far as, you know, people wanting classic characters and whatnot. But it's, you know, but the exciting part of it all was really the figures, designs, and even beyond that was still how they play in the game and stuff like that. So, like, there's different stages they can tease stuff out with. So him telling us it's Hippogriff in there, doesn't ruin, you know, I'm not going to be any less excited by any means when it actually comes out. You know, they actually release it. So, I think it's great the way they're doing it.
Sure. And seeing it in Lego form will be like that special moment that we wouldn't have by him just saying what it is, you know, like we need to see it in Lego form to fully understand. But so when you put up your story this morning about it, I clicked it. And like I immediately like got super excited, and I didn't even text you. I texted Matt first, and I was like, in all caps, "What is a hippogriff?" And all he responded was, "Dang it, Jason. I kind of hoped you wouldn't catch that headline." He says, "I kind of hoped you wouldn't catch that headline, but I suppose your Harry Potter radar is on." And then he followed up with book 3. And I said, "Oh yeah, my radar is cranked up to 10. I still don't know what this sucker is. Also, I'm confused by the name. The picture doesn't match the image in my head based on the name." And then he didn't say anything. And then I responded with Crookshanks and like 10 question marks. And he said, "Wow, he actually got you to read the article." Book 3.
Well played, Matt. Well played, Matt. I forgot Crookshanks comes that late. But yeah, like this too, like, as far as that, like, I don't think even knowing that thing exists is really spoiling anything. So it's, you know, I won't get into more into it, but it's just like, it's not like, I don't know. He might, I mean, he wants you to take it as pure as possible.
Right.
But it's like, you know, it's not like seeing that is like you can now piece 10 other things to make it come to that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that thing exists, but it's not like some, you know, it's not some shadowy creature that supposed to be a mystery for 2 books. And now you know what it is.
Yeah. And you know, like, you didn't mention Crookshanks in the headline. Like, that was in the middle of your article, which meant I read your article, Jason.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't even include that because he said he's pretty sure it's not Crookshanks, but it could have been. Someone's gonna include it because I feel like someone's gonna, you know, now people are gonna say it is Crookshanks, even though it's probably not. Sure. You know, but speaking of that, when he said 2, 1, did you see my rant on Saturday?
About what?
About people not reading the articles.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to leave and saw it, and it was just like, because it happened so quick. Yeah. Like within like 30 seconds, I was like, it's a Saturday. I'm getting ready to head to Penn State. I don't even care. Tweeted it and just turned off my phone. But I will say that's going to tie to my second rant. Something that's been bothering me this past 2 weeks, trying to figure out a platform to speak about it, and this is the platform.
Let's do it.
If you are watching a TV show and you want to avoid a spoiler, I will put an asterisk around this. I understand for West Coast might be an exception to this rule, but still, stay with me. If there is something you're waiting for on a TV show or some other live event, stay off social media. Period.
Yep.
It is not the other people's fault. It is your fault. Sure. If you are reading it, it is your fault. Do me a favor, Josh. Do me a favor. Either sign out Twitter, open an incognito video or window, whatever, and just go to twitter.com.
Twitter.com. Okay, I'm going to sign out here.
So it's the sign out page you never really see because you didn't know it exists. But what's the big words right at the top?
Hold on. What's happening?
Right.
Yeah.
You tweet what's happening. Okay?
Right.
That's what Twitter is. It takes me off so much. People stop ruining. Stay off of Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, West Coast, I get it. Like, East Coast stuff happening 3 hours at a time. You're not like, that must be a pain in the butt. I'm sorry. Sucks to be you.
But even then, you just adjust accordingly. Like,
right. I would think you would eventually get used to it.
Walking Dead is something I never want spoiled for me. So, when it's happening, I know that I have to watch it at 9 o'clock Pacific time, right? That's when my Walking Dead comes on. I know 3 hours before then, the East Coast is watching it. So what do? I don't go on Twitter. I don't go on Facebook. Nothing. I'm not losing any part of my life by staying off of it for 3 hours. Right. You know, and then once I see it, I could go back, or I give it 24 hours, and then everything has already passed. Something else has happened that everybody's talking about, and we're all good.
It's like, I mean, if you're DVRing a sporting event and you're like, I really want to drink, and you go into a bar and expect everybody else not to tell you or watch the TV, you're making that choice. Okay. Yeah. It's the platform's being used for stuff like live talking. I understand like movies can be a little bit touchy, especially like movies aren't even out yet. You know, people trying to stay from Star Wars spoilers, stuff coming out. Like that's a different subject kind of thing. But like when it's a live TV event, or like I get caught out all the time for like tweeting out live sports stuff. Mm-hmm. Get the frick off. You know, like
it is happening live for everybody right now.
Yeah, and like the one I told about before, when Game of Thrones happened not the season we just had, but the previous season, when something happened at the end of the episode, and I knew it was gonna be crazy. It's the last episode of the season. We were out at E3 when that episode happened. Mm-hmm. Obviously, had to adjust for the 3-hour time frame. Yep. We went out to dinner then with Jason, number 2. Went to go pick up Lauren. I gave Vince my phone. I ended up didn't log into Twitter or anything like that till like 7 hours after it aired. You know, on the East Coast time, because I was so afraid of people. Like, not afraid of people spoiling it, because I knew people were going to be talking about it. Right. You know, stay off of social media. Stop complaining. You have the power. You don't have to be logged into Twitter. I do not get it. Right. I do not get it. And it drives me crazy how many people sit there and whine about, like, don't spoil it tonight. Get off Twitter. Get off Twitter.
Yeah. If you're spending the time to tell people not to spoil it, you're already asking for it to be spoiled.
Right. And this comes from a guy. I'm on Twitter all the time. Mm-hmm. All the time. Yep. I leave TweetDeck up all the time when I'm home. Yep. I don't stay at us as much. But I'm still on it all the time. And I miss TV shows. I record till the next day. But I still know what not to see, what on the follow. Just sites I just don't follow, because I know they're more likely to tweet about it or post stuff. And it is what it is. Or I just, just stick to my certain Twitter life-centric accounts. Do whatever you need to do. Sure. Okay? Just,
Also, filters are a great thing. Like, you could filter out specific words and hashtags and never even see it.
I will say that. Always tweet hashtag whatever you're talking, like whatever it is, because that makes it much easier for people who feel like they need to be on Twitter, sure. Blah, blah, blah. But like I said before, like Star Wars stuff, I got Star Wars ruined to me, what did I say, 2 or 3 times before I went and saw the movie. Yep. But I just knew it was going to happen. I'm on Twitter. I just have to, quote unquote, not for my job, for lack of a better term, my job with this online stuff. Sure. People are going to make me a public enemy. People who didn't follow me are just looking to send people just to ruin it. And I accepted it. I just knew it was going to happen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you feel like you need to be on Twitter for your job, whatever, just know it's going to happen. Just try and enjoy it as much as possible. But if you can avoid it, stay off. Just stay off. You don't need to be on Twitter.
Yeah, do something else.
Take a couple hours off. Read a book.
Yeah. My favorite is like my aunt and uncle. They're Seahawks fans. But my uncle... He's really weird how he watches the games. He will DVR it for no other reason, so then he could just watch it later and just fast forward through the commercials. Sure. That's the only reason he DVRs it. But
sporting events?
Specifically Seahawks games. But yeah, most sporting events. But, so like, if the Seahawks game is like at 10 a.m., if you come over in the evening, thinking, at this point everybody should know whether they won or lost, at the very least, he'll be like, oh, no, I have a DVR. I'm like, what are you? You've been home all day. What are you waiting for?
Sure.
That drives me crazy.
Yeah, I used to try to, like, DVR, and I still do, like, soccer events, stuff like that. Something like I know aren't again, one of the biggest soccer sports there are, but, like, I know obviously it's not as major levels, like the NFL or college basketball, stuff like that. That, like, I know, like, especially, like, on Facebook, I follow, like, 14 bajillion Eagles stuff or Penn State things. So, like, just logging into Facebook, even for a split second, it's going to be there. But soccer I can somewhat avoid still on social media. But, like, my problem is now on Google Now, they suggest, like, they keep updated. So there's ongoing notifications at the top. Right. And it's really picky. Like, sometimes it will pick a game, like, just randomly will pick a game that, like, it never alerts me before. Like, it just randomly started learning about Union games, so I guess it just learned the algorithm to track MLS games. I don't really know. Sure. But that's the one I always forget about when I'm trying to say spoiler-free, because it's just on my phone. So I remember, I'm like, oh, crap, like, while the game's happening. and like, or because it'll show up right at the beginning of 00. So like I have to hand my phone to somebody else and tell them like where to go and turn it off the like hide score alert, just so I don't want to check it. So I'm like, here's my phone, tap this button, then this button, and scroll, like, you know, just explain them how to do it. But again, you have to do what you got to do to avoid spoilers. But again, it just irks me. Again, I know it's gonna make people mad. That's fine. You can hate me all you want. I know I'm in the elite status of being on the East Coast, but still,
there's, yeah. I mean, it does suck for stuff to get spoiled, but you're also putting yourself in that position to be spoiled if you are actively on social media. Like, the easiest way, like, if somebody just walks up to you on the street and be like, hey, did you hear who died on Game of Thrones 2 seconds ago? You'd be like, really? Yeah. Like, that's unnecessary and uncalled for. But if you're scrolling through Twitter or Instagram, just because you're bored and you need something to do, but then you get mad because somebody posted a picture of something, it's like, no, that's you. That's on you.
Right.
Because like you said, it is meant for people to talk about things as they're happening.
Right.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. Also, hold up, wait a minute.
Hold up, wait a minute.
What did you just tweet out an hour ago? NES Classic Controller Extender cables?
Yeah, man.
From Amazon? Is the actual NES Classic even available for pre-order on Amazon?
No.
All right, just the extender cables.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
short the cables are?
Yeah, no, it's stupid. I don't sit that close to my TV.
I know, people are giving me crap for pre-ordering it. I'm like, fine, you deal with the short cables.
Yeah. Are those proprietary?
The short, no, I mean, they're the same as the normal ones. I couldn't even remember if there were extended cables for the Wii U stuff. There probably is somewhere.
Okay.
Probably getting it for cheaper. But these ones are black, and I'm sure the ones that are out for the Wii U weren't black.
Well, they had a black system.
Might have. I was thinking because the controller's all white, you know, so they might try to match the controllers.
Yeah, I don't remember. What was that topic? What were we even talking about? Lego Dimensions.
Yep.
Okay. Speaking of Nintendo, perfect segue over to Amiibo. Amiibo part of the podcast is sponsored by our friend Michael O'Driscoll, who you can find on Twitter at Amiibo_museum. He's going to be adding some Amiibo to his museum this week. Jason, what's going on?
Yeah, so we got a big Amiibo release. First big one in quite some time, it feels like. But we're getting, 7 figures, I think, total. Out November 4th, this coming Friday. After you go see Doctor Strange, go get some Amiibo.
Or before.
I'm going on Thursday, so technically I have to do it after no matter what.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we're gonna get there's Daisy, Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong, Rosalina, Waluigi, Wario, and of course the only one that matters, the glow-in-the-dark Boo. Gonna be so good.
I had my hands on them yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, Walmart had them all out.
Nice. Did you tweet a picture of that?
I did.
I don't know if I missed that.
Yeah. You were out trick-or-treating by then. It was later in the afternoon, so.
Probably. Yeah, I don't think I was even on Twitter really last night, because then I watched... I'm not a scary movie person, but I still want to watch, like, a Halloween movie.
Sure.
So I was struggling to find stuff, and I was like, I could watch, like, Hocus Pocus or something. But I was like, oh, Hotel Transylvania 2's on. Ooh. And I didn't watch the second one yet. So it's a dumb movie, but it's a fun, cheap...
Sure.
You get a couple laughs out of it. You know, it's one go with no expectations and you'll enjoy it kind of a movie.
I did Addams Family late last night while I was editing the podcast.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That was my backup one. Or just like a couple episodes of Scooby-Doo.
Same concept. Solid, yeah.
But yeah, all this coming out November 4th. Part of the Super Mario Party kind of line. But again, coming out November 4th.
I do like the designs of these figures. Looking at them in my hand, I was just... You know, I appreciate the Smash Bros. Artistic style.
Sure.
But I just love how bold and simplistic, but still detailed in their own way these figures are. Like Rosalina.
Sure.
I think I like Rosalina a lot better in this version.
Sure.
So. And Boo is so tiny. It's so funny how short it is.
Yeah.
It cracks me up. I'm like, that's going to get lost. Like, in the mix of all the other Amiibo. Like, you think Pikachu and Kirby are small? Like, somehow Boo makes everybody else seem so much bigger.
It was funny when I was trying to make my picture for the Halloween stuff with the candy with all my Toys of Life figures. And I was trying to figure out what theme I wanted to go with. And so originally I was going to go with just Chic, because technically she's in a quote costume.
Right. I like that.
You know? So I was going to go with that. And then I was like, well, I have these other like Toys of Life figures and I didn't want to just put just one amiibo. So I was trying to figure out like what else to put. So I was like, I guess Dark Pit, you know, it's Halloween-ish per se.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Like dark. I was like, okay. And I was trying to figure out a third one. I was coming up with nothing. I was like, I'm going to pick Almar. It looks like he's wearing a costume. So, but Dark Pit, I could not find for the life of me.
Huh.
And on my shelf. And I eventually found him on top of like these Disney Infinity cases. Why he was over there? No idea. But it was so weird. I'm like, what would I have used Dark Pit for that I moved him? But it was super weird because I was like, did I buy him? You know, like, I was just doing like going back and forth. So eventually found him.
That's funny. I want to talk about a couple things with Amiibo here.
Sure.
I was randomly browsing the Nintendo website and looking at their Amiibo catalog, you know, and they have like the full lineup of all the Amiibo they've released or are going to be releasing, you know?
Sure.
They have the 2 Links from Breath of the Wild Amiibo up there.
Yep.
And they also have Poochie, the yarn dog Amiibo.
Yep.
And they have the other Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time and 8-bit Zelda and Links. They don't have that third Breath of the Wild Amiibo up on their page. The Guardian with the
Guardian? Yeah. Yep.
What's up with that?
Some people have said about that before. I wouldn't be surprised if it's hitting production issues.
With the legs and everything.
Yeah, or having to go through a complete redesign or just scrapping it entirely. Like you and I said when we sort of saw it, like that's pretty intense.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, when I saw it, like it was going to scream they're going to have the P-stick issues where it's going to, you know, are going to have anyway support it, which obviously it's all bendable, so they don't really necessarily have to support it, but it seems very flimsy for the current production line that they have. So maybe they got it and realized they couldn't really produce it like they wanted to. So I wouldn't be surprised if they scrap it or change it.
Yeah, just fascinating little tidbit that I had seen there.
Yeah.
Also, I appreciate the fact that they don't have the Monster Hunter Amiibo up on their page.
All right.
Makes me feel like I'm not missing anything.
Got mine last week.
How do you like them?
It's big. It's big. The only way to put it.
They are big. Also, the big thing I want to talk about is something that we've danced around a few times. We've tried to nail down when the Amiibo craze ended, right?
Sure.
Like there was a definite, this is a big thing, everybody's excited, this is must buy at this moment because you'll never see them again type of feeling, and then all of a sudden it went to you could find these things anywhere, it's not a big deal anymore, etc., etc. So I was scrolling through the roster, and thankfully they're all ordered by their release dates. So I was trying to pinpoint the moment of which the Amiibo hype bubble completely burst, right?
Sure.
We've talked about the Retro 3-pack, the Mii Fighters, the Animal Crossing, you know, all these are the usual suspects of what you kind of remember as being not as big of a deal as we thought they would be.
Sure.
I actually found the culprits.
Uh-oh.
I found the reason for the Amiibo hype bubble bursting.
Let's hear your theory.
Okay, so there was a wave that came out that included Bowser Jr., Dr. Mario, Ganondorf, Olimar, Zero Suit Samus, and the 30th anniversary Mario 8-bit classic.
Yep.
That was a big thing. People were excited about that, right?
Yep.
It was still hot and heavy at that point. 9 days later, we had other Amiibo come out. Some new Amiibo come out.
Sure.
That I am pinpointing and blaming solely for the reason Amiibo hype bubble burst.
Animal Crossing?
Turbocharged Donkey Kong and Hammer Slam Bowser.
Perhaps?
Because from there, we had the Amiibo cards, and we had the Retro 3-pack, and then we had Chibi Robo, and then the Yarn Yoshis, and the Mii Fighters, and Animal Crossing, all in that order. But we went from that wave with, you know, Bowser Jr. and Zero Suit Samus and the 8-bit Mario, and then we had the Skylander amiibo crossovers.
Sure. When did the first Animal Crossing amiibo come out? Like not cards, but actual figures.
November 13th.
Was that the same time the cards came, or did the cards come independently first?
The cards came out September 25th.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that Nintendo not really shot themselves in the foot, because I think they were doing some of that stuff purposefully. But, same thing. They were just spreading it out. You weren't just buying these single figures all the time. Mm-hmm. They're spreading out and made you really question what you wanted in your collection.
Right.
And I think that's when people said, is that thing where, this is what I said all the time about Disney Infinity, that Disney Infinity didn't get right, whereas other stuff that, like, you hit a point where you're like, okay, I don't need everything.
Right.
And then that's when people back off way back. Because that's the same way as the Skylanders. There's just some people out there who still die hard to get stuff like that, but there's people with collections. Disney Infinity, really, it's either you had them all or you had, like, just a couple. Like, there wasn't a huge in the middle part.
Right.
And so I think that's when Amiibo people first hit the brakes and were like, I don't need to buy every single one.
Yep.
And, recall, and then people were out of the game because, again,
Yeah. But I just found that fascinating because we have revisionist history sometimes. We'll look back and think, oh, it was this or that. I'm pretty sure that was it.
I would say that's fair.
Yeah. So I'm sure our dear friend Matt, SCL Matt, will have his opinion on the matter. But that's what it is. Sorry. Tomorrow we might have possibly some Amiibo news info.
Oh yeah, the Animal Crossing Direct. Specifically talking exclusively, they're saying about the new Leaf update. So we'll see what goes on there. But would it be shocked if they put some surprise in there? Again, they're going to be talking about the new functionality, so doesn't mean they can't announce a new Amiibo.
Right. We know there's a new set of 50 Amiibo cards coming out, so obviously they're going to be probably showing off what those do and how they work. But I would not be surprised to see even a little bit more than what we're expecting, because they do have that tendency to do that with directs that people don't really have high hopes for. They tend to come out and surprise people. So
yeah,
we'll see. That's 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, you're so lucky with that kind of stuff. You know that?
Oh, we do what we can.
Yeah. Us suckers have to wake up early, almost, just to watch stupid little videos. You're like, I've been at work for 2 hours now, hanging out.
But see, like, that same thing, though. Like, I would enjoy it. Wish it was before I'd start my work day. It'd be nice to wake up, just watch it, and then move on. Now I have to, like, watch it and get interrupted by phone calls and
That's true. That's
else.
True. Yeah.
So I don't get to sit and really enjoy it.
Right. It's like any info that comes from Japan, that's when it gets just, impossible.
Yeah.
Because that's, dead in the middle of the night sometimes. So
yeah.
And at least at that point, like, you guys are just starting to wake up,
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So you said that reminded me. Did you see something about like a new map being made or something? Like geographical map
for
the planet.
They're making a new map?
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah, let me send it to you.
Like, when you said that, I wasn't registering that you were talking about like the actual real world.
Well, I know. That's why I was trying to clarify it when I was typing in. Because it said about you're taking a globe and laying it flat, and so like there's no perfect map out there because its proportions are always wrong.
Sure.
So this guy just won an award for trying to properly scale things. So it's all kinds of weird stretching, but apparently it fits if you do put it over a globe, I guess is what they're saying.
Huh.
You put it on there. But I mean, I guess it's the correct scale of everything, except for like, I don't know, what's that in, is that Brazil, I guess? In South America, it looks all kind of funky stretched, but maybe that's the way it is.
Uh-huh.
But
kind of elongated.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
No, that's fascinating.
I remember seeing a tweet about it. I forgot, never looked into it. And once you said something about Japan, it reminded me. I was thinking, I went to Japan. I went to what time are they up? Forget about the other side of the world. World, map. Oh my gosh, I never saw the map. That was my thought process in the last minute.
No, I like how it shows how you could like fold it up, and it does actually turn into the world as we know it. That's
So if that's legit, like I said,
That's kind of blowing my mind a little bit.
If that's like an actually fairly scaled map, I might actually buy like a big thing to hang up with that, because that'd be cool to have.
Yeah. Although I don't like the position of Antarctica though. That's kind of freaking me out.
Yeah. If you want to know what we're talking about, just Google like map award.
Yeah.
I think it's yeah, that's what I Googled to come up. Just check the news.
Wacky world map.
Yep, there you go.
This proves that the world is flat. For you conspiracy theorists out there. Let's move on to the big news segment of the week. It belongs once again to Skylanders Imaginators. This week, as always, is sponsored by our dear friend Matt Sonnenberg, who you can find over on Twitter at SCLMatt, or you can find him on Twitter under his more personal account, non-Skylander account, as a matter of Matt. And then be sure to check out the website, sclmatt.com, where it is chocked full of links of all the different things that he's involved with and that he's doing. And mainly, pretty much like the main focus is SkylandersCharacterList.com. So let's not pretend that that's not where he wants everybody to go. So, that being said, Jason, what do we got going on?
Excuse me.
Other than funky maps.
Yeah, I'll say, shout again. Be sure to head over there. Matt's got some more clear picture ups.
Picture ups, huh?
Picture ups. Clear pictures up of the various creation crystals with the new naming scheme. I need to start using those and give him the proper credit and the due that he did for all the hard work getting those on there. So
yeah, he's still the only place to find like any sort of names.
Yeah, because he's made them all up.
Right, I know, but I mean, like, nobody else has bothered to even go that far.
Right. Other people don't really care. So, I mean, I care. I just wasn't going to try and deal with all that. So, I mean, get credit to Matt in the community who helped vote. I know he's going to say a lot of people put their input into it. So, definitely check out there. I'm sad that there was no crazy internet poll one, like Creation Crystal McCrystal Face, kind of like Bodie McBoatface.
Right.
But all good names. Yeah, so Skylanders this week, couple of things to catch you back up on. Remember, Skylanders Academy just released on Netflix this past Friday. There is 12/13 episodes, depending how you want to look at it, available for your viewing pleasure. Heard a lot of positive feedback. A lot of people liked it. Some people said even as adults they still had some ability to enjoy it. So seems like it's good fun for the whole family. Super high quality.
Yeah.
Design quality, everything like that.
Did you marathon it like you planned on?
No, I went up to Penn State for the weekend. So
that was kind of a surprise trip, wasn't it?
Yeah. I found out that she had opening like that weekend available per se. So I gave some strong hints I was going to go up on Sunday. But then I had a Corinne's birthday party on Saturday. I had nothing for the rest of the night. And I knew she didn't really have anything to do. Thought she might have some homework. But it's one of those, if I was going up Sunday and I didn't have anything to do, I might as well just go up Saturday and surprise her then. So
yeah,
went up for that. But yeah, so I watched for like 10 minutes of the first one so far.
Sure.
But home again this weekend. I'm definitely home this weekend. So hopefully check some of that out.
I watched a few of them the first night, like right at midnight when they showed up. I watched a few. Then I was watching them here and there throughout the weekend. The best part about it, though, is my daughter was over for the weekend, and she'll play Skylanders with me. She kind of goes back and forth, like, on what she likes and doesn't like and whatnot, but I started watching them, and she fell in love with them, so then when I wasn't watching them, she would take her Kindle, and she would just watch him herself, and, like, she was rewatching episodes, and, like, just instantly over the course of just a couple days, like she fell in love with the show, and she's singing along with the theme song, and she's like naming all the characters. I'm like, I love you so much, like you are such my daughter, and that's so perfect because it's a great show. It's fun. I enjoyed watching it. She enjoyed it. Sure. Some jokes are kind of cheesy, like they're definitely aimed at the younger crowd, but then there is plenty of good writing in there to be impressed by it. The animation looks great. I'm still like, my biggest gripe is Norm Macdonald being Glumshanks.
Right.
Norm Macdonald does a fine job. I have no problem with him and the job that he did as that voice. I just have a problem with having to hear Glumshanks in the game that I'm playing. sound completely different than the show I'm watching. It's just not syncing up very well. So, other than that, though, I love like the stories that's being told. It's fun seeing cameos from other Skylanders that aren't the main focus, like throughout like the 6 games. Will just randomly pop up, like there's a giant, and oh, we're talking about Imaginators now, and you know, like the creation crystals, and like this is really cool cross marketing, and just, you know, all the random Skylanders that you know and you're familiar with, and you may have forgotten about at one point, will just randomly pop up for no reason. Shout out to Hex, who did not make the grade when it came to becoming a Skylander in the first episode. I saw that. I'm like, that's the funniest thing I have ever seen, because of all the characters to select as like the one who doesn't pass the test, you're going with Hex. Really?
Yeah. So good.
Like, I don't know if that's like an inside joke, if that was just pure coincidence, but
we appreciate it nonetheless.
Oh yeah, big time.
Which I'll say, speaking of that reminded me to talk about. Shout out to Billy DJ Dog, to give me this idea for Halloween for next year. Tweeted out last week about how many Lightcore hexes we're gonna give out for Halloween for trick or treating. Yep. I was like, oh my gosh, that was the idea. Like, I've been struggling trying to figure out like why, like how I could give away so many of these so cheaply.
Yep.
And that would be it.
Yeah.
And so like next year, 100%. I was like, I need to contact Toys R Us with a corporate, and like, can I get like a freaking mass write-off on these things? Can I somehow make this a fake charity and make them for like super cheap? Yeah. You know, just do something, because 100% I want to give that, like, I would put a candy and be like, you can take one of each, and I guarantee you kids still won't take it. Right. Like, they'll just take the candy.
What is this? Daddy, this guy's giving us strange things.
The radio this morning, they were talking about, one of the questions was weird things you saw given away at Halloween. The guy said the weird thing his daughter, the radio host, said, like, they're giving away a deck of cards, which, like, I get it's weird, but like not as weird. Like, I'm like, okay, you know, it's one of those, like, it's kind of fun. I mean, again, most kids are going to be eating all this candy they get, so you're getting rid of it or something, you know. So it is fun. Might as well give something else out instead. They said that one person said they're giving out, they got business cards to someone's piano lessons, but it wasn't attached to anything. They're just giving out business cards. Like, if you like attach it to like some kind of candy, like, okay, that's one thing. Right. But just giving out business cards. Someone made their own flyer about how candy rots your teeth. Like, not a professional, like, just they made their own one. Right. And apparently, a guy like didn't even work in the dental industry. He worked somewhere completely irrelevant, but still felt like he wanted to talk about teeth rotting. But then the funniest one, somebody called and said they gave out Wendy's vinaigrette packets. Like, nice. So, and like, their theory was that somebody probably ran out of candy, so it was like grabbing anything they could find.
Sure. But that's when you just turn off your porch light. Yeah.
Turn it off and call it a night.
I saw, it must have been on Facebook, somebody had like reposted something from World Star Hip Hop about a USB drive that was designed to look like a fun size Twix.
Sure.
And like the caption was, "No candy. All you kids are getting my mixtape this year."
I saw somebody had the classic, you know, the internet hates Nickelback. They said about check your candy this year.
Oh, yeah.
And they're digging through, and there's like syringes and like medicine, and they was shocked because there's a Nickelback CD on the bottom.
Poor Nickelback, the butt of everybody's jokes. What were we talking about?
Skylanders Academy.
Skylanders Academy. That's right. Good times. I definitely foresee more Skylanders Academy. I think this went well.
Yeah, we definitely know our second season coming. So that'll be coming next year. Again, I'm really glad they put it on Netflix. I think Netflix was actually a super good idea to put it out on.
Yep.
And should hopefully bring people into the Skylanders games as well. So we'll see. I think it'll be a good cross marketing, and I think it was a wise investment for Active. I mean, obviously, they made a whole entire separate TV and movie division, so it's not a shock it's coming. But hopefully it's been a success for them.
Right. Yeah.
Legendary Creation Crystals, remember, those are out. At least one is out so far. This past Sunday, the Magic one is available exclusively at your Toys R Us. Again, it's $10 like all the other Creation Crystals.
But I appreciate they didn't jack up the price.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Because, technically, yeah, you're getting a little bit lesser value because it's a repeat per se. But again, you could choose to get this mold instead of the other one if you just want the molds, don't care about the color. I mean, it's, but yeah, you get a little comic in there, a little micro comic, is what it is.
A little mini poster too.
Yeah, apparently, design was, or whoever's in charge of this decision. I'm gonna put this one on Skylanders again. I won't discredit Toys R Us, but the comic. So it's week 1.
Yep.
So you're having 3 comics.
Yep.
Which comic do you attach in week 1's pack?
You should probably go with number 3.
Yeah, number 3 of 3.
Yeah.
Okay, Skylanders. You legit can't get a single thing right ever. Like that was a piece of cake, and you failed.
I feel like they had them all boxed up, and then like somebody in like shipping at Skylanders HQ was just standing there, and they're like, "Whoa, which should we put on which boxes? I don't even remember. Just ship that one. That one has to be number 1. I bet it is."
Crap. It's like one of those things too. Like we have this agreement we send out to our customers that they have to sign, and we order them in like big bulk. It's just a printout. We just order like a couple boxes of them at a time, and we realize we put our zip code wrong on like our name section on the bottom of this agreement, and it's been like that for like 6 years. But it's like one of those people who really gives a rip? It's just not worth the time,
Right.
But it's just so like it's probably what it was. It's like, man, it's too late now to care now. But so yeah, Magic Ones came out. Light will be coming out November 6th. Will it be comic number 1? Comic number 2? We'll find out. And then November 13th, the Life one will be coming out. So again, they look cool. The gold looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you're not missing out on anything by not getting these. It's just for the pure collectors out there.
Yep.
Again, no harm, no foul. Fun to put it out there.
Yeah.
Again,
they stand out amongst all the other crystals, which is nice.
Yep.
And then the color of the crystal inside the chamber it matches the element that it is. So even once you have all 3 gold ones sitting on the table, like you'll immediately know which one was your life and whatnot. So
yeah. I mean, again, it's one of those things. I understand how people could complain about it. You're not missing out on anything by not getting it. People want it, great. So it's what it is.
I will say they dropped the ball on one aspect of it.
What's that?
That would have been a cool incentive to get people to buy these for the non I have to collect everything group, because it's a legendary crystal. And I didn't even think of this. This credit to this goes to Val, because I picked one up, brought home, I showed her, and she's like, "Oh, what's that?" I was like, "Oh, it's the legendary creation crystal. There's going to be 2 more. They come with these little comics and everything." And her first question was, "Oh, legendary? So does that mean you make your own legendary imaginator?"
Right.
I was like, "I don't know, actually, but that would be sweet."
Yeah, because then that's the thing. I think that would have put people in a bad mood that they had locked exclusive content on it. Like that, like I thought Aurora, like something behind him, something basic like that nobody really cares that much about, would have been a good idea. But
let it have the name that you create. Just have it start with legendary,
Oh, sure.
know, and then just maybe make the stats just a little bit beefier. Like you don't have to make anything extra special, but just make it feel like you got something special for buying this additional thing.
Yeah, agreed.
If you're going to call it a legendary creation crystal, there should be something legendary about it. Yeah.
But yeah, and then finally for Skylanders this week, we did get a list from 2 different sources here of the Skylanders Imaginary variants that are coming. So these are what I call the marketed variants. So these are the store exclusives, holiday ones. So these are not the chase variants or anything like that. Those can still pop up as willing throughout. But yeah, so there's 8 that we know of coming. Legendary Pit Boss. The picture of that did come out at Toys R Us Canada this past weekend, so you can go check that out. Egg Bomber Airstrike, which is the and Hardboiled Flare Wolf, the 2 Easter variants. Looks like we are getting, so they'll be out in March and April. Someone, I forget who it was, tweeted. Actually, let me get it.
I question the choice to have Flare Wolf as an Easter.
I know, so did I. Samuel Crawford 4 tweeted me, said, "I feel like Flare Wolf should be for New Year's." That would have been a good idea. Do some kind of special, like, New Year's themed one.
Right.
I could have seen that, but yeah, it's a weird Easter one. But we'll see. Heartbreaker Buckshot, fantastic idea.
Love it.
Making like Cupid. Super good idea. So excited to see that one. Jingle Bell Chompy Mage, again, we've already seen the figure design of that in Toys R Us catalog. Mystical Bad Juju and Mystical Taekwon Crow, not a guess. Remember, we saw Mystical Taekwon Crow via the Taekwon Crow product page on Skylanders' official website. They attached the wrong image of down the bottom. And then today, they're like, screw it, we're going to upload the intro video. So that's up. But we don't know when it's coming, how it's coming, why it's coming, anything like that. Since there's two of them, like I theorize that maybe it's a store exclusive replacing the Target's Nitro line. But I mean, obviously we got the Power Blues that were multiple ones. But even though it wasn't a store exclusive per se, so I have no idea. I really, if it's not a Target or GameStop exclusive, I have not a guess. Not a guess.
Yeah, it's super strange. I don't know.
And then the final one, Solar Flare Aurora. Again, a little picture screenshot of it and it looks sweet. Excited to see a clear picture, especially of the figure itself. Again, releasing of it, I don't know. Maybe that is a New Year's one. Maybe who knows? Like I said, I compared this in the Lightning Edition to the birthday Skylander that we got.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is just going to be forget it. We're just going to make this random thing, release it with no real reason whatsoever, but make this crazy lore for why it exists. Because to be fair, Solar Flare lore is an actual scientific thing. You know, that's an actual phrase. So I think they just decided to like, hey, we have Aurora, might make the Solar Flare Aurora and do something with it. So I have no idea.
Right.
Maybe something around the solstice or something. I have no idea.
I love it though. I love what it looks like from what we've seen so far. Like, it's probably going to be my favorite of the variants. Although the Heartbreaker Buckshot is pretty sweet too.
Oh, Heartbreaker Buckshot's real sweet.
Yeah.
Again, I'm biased because it's my birthday, but still, it's gonna look sweet.
It's a special day nonetheless.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. When do you expect us to actually get some news or like official confirmation of these?
From Skylanders or from the stores?
Either?
That's two different questions.
Either?
100%. If any of these gets announced before from Skylanders before they're officially announced by a retailer, I will be beyond shocked.
Yeah.
All these will be posted by a retailer for pre-order before they get announced by Skylanders.
Right. I feel like that's a safe bet. But
I just don't understand what's going on in that chaos.
What's the Thrillipede counter up to?
What did we say it was?
190 something?
176.
76, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have one of your own yet? Did you order one?
No.
Okay. You're standing strong?
Staying strong.
I think about it way too often about just ordering one from the UK.
Yeah, I mean, I could. I just don't feel like it.
Right.
Like I said, I might not be going to E3 next year, and who knows if Skylanders will be there. If they go, totally going to front an interview and to just ask them about Thrill Pizzas constantly. That's all I'm going to do.
Right.
But like, oh yeah, this great sounds great. But question, so Thrillipede, you know, like, or be like, okay, this all sounds great. So which one are you not going to release at the end because you just give up?
Can we talk about Thrillipede, or do you want to talk about the yawn traps? Like,
yeah,
which way do you want to go with this here? Goodness gracious. Is that about it for Skylanders?
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, that takes us to the community question. And we're going to award the response of the week. We're going to give somebody a new amiibo that's coming out on Friday of their choice. So whoever wins gets to pick one of the amiibo that are coming out Friday, and it will be theirs to own and to love and to hold and to cherish. The community question this week was based on Halloween, of course. And I wanted to know, because Jason, I feel like you probably have some strong opinions on this. Halloween candy. What's the best candy to get? What candy is always the last to be eaten and eventually thrown away? This got heated a little bit.
I did see some back and forth on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do me run down things, or should I say my opinion first?
Either way, I don't care.
I'll start with my opinion.
Okay.
I'll start with that. Best candy to get, it's always Reese's. Reese's whatever, end of the day. That's always the first to get. Let's be honest. If there's a pack of Hershey's stuff, that's always the first to go. That's a fact. So I'm going to say Reese's is the best. The last to be eaten, I don't just really classify this as Halloween candy because I don't think anybody likes it, and I don't see anyone ever buying it. Those crappy circus peanut things. That is, I don't know a single person who likes those.
No.
Like, it is awful.
The fact that they still make them is kind of astonishing.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no way they make money. There's no way.
Yeah.
So there's like some other stuff like that. Like the other one, I would say the one that gets thrown away is always the crappy off-brand bubblegum that gets has flavor for literally not even a full second. Like it loses the flavor before it even reaches your mouth.
Right.
Like it escapes in the air.
And you're like, I'm just chewing for no reason whatsoever right now.
Yeah. And so, Heather lets the kids pick one piece of candy they can eat when they get back from Halloween. So again, it's interesting to see which one Corinne, her lollipop she gets. Joel, what did Joel eat? I forget what he ate.
Full size, I'm sure.
What's that?
Something full size, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. And Isaac's typically the one I said before that he's like the really smart, like choosing the right decision. He wanted like his double bubble, and I was like, "That's your pick?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, that's it. That's all you're getting. He's like, "Yeah, I just want the bubble gum." I'm like, "All right." So, that's what he picked.
Sure. Can't argue with it.
Nope. But, yeah. Do you want to give your answer?
Oh, Reese's is definitely number one. I mean,
fact.
Yeah, come on now. I mean, if kids come home with Reese's, by the next day they're not going to be any Reese's. Like that's payment for me taking you out trick or treating. Just flat out, that's the down payment. I get any Reese's that you collect throughout the night. The rest will negotiate, but Reese's come to the parents. Anything else is up for debate.
True story.
Yeah. So what did the community say?
Yeah. So we got here, Long's Toy says, I love Kit Kats and Reese's Cups. Good and Plenty would sit around until my dad ate them. I hate black licorice. Both of those are quality answers. To be honest, I don't know if I've ever had Good and Plenty. I think I might have at some point. But it's just that candy I can look at and be like, not doing it.
You're not missing anything with Good and Plenty. Those are god awful.
Rose of Death tweet out, and I forget, it's that orange and black cheapo candy, and I know exactly what it is.
Yep.
I don't know who makes them.
They're kind of slightly peanut butter flavored, I think.
Yeah.
Or it's supposed to be.
If you don't put your name on it, it's a trash candy. But that doesn't work for an Easter, I guess it's probably Easter, summertime, those strawberry candies that look like their wrapper is like a strawberry.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Those things are fan-friggin-tastic.
Yep.
No idea who makes those, but but
it's the chewy taffy of the orange and black wrapper ones that and it's not as good as saltwater taffy that you would get anywhere else. So it's like bootleg taffy, and bootleg taffy is no good.
Cheap trash Halloween thing. James Holy Infinity Museum says, as a huge Goonies fan, Rosa, he tweeted 2 parts. Let me finish his. Rose of Death, best is the Everlasting Gobstoppers. Good call on those. I was at a mall the other day and had those giant gumballs. The things that are 6 inches wide. They always sell.
Yep.
They're $16. And I'm like, who spends that much on a single, jawbreaker? But, ugh.
Because you got to put them in a plastic bag and save them, and then 2 weeks into it, you're like, why am I still licking this thing that's just possibly growing mold at this point? This is pretty gross.
But James Holy Infinity Museum says, as a huge Goonies fan, the best is Baby Ruth's bars, which I import from the USA. USA. Worst is hard toffee that pulls your fillings out. That is true. I think I told you before, I have awful dental history, so like I hate any kind of like toffee stuff like that now.
Sure.
Just because I don't know if, like, I'm sure it obviously makes an effect on it, but like you just feel it happening, and I don't know if it's just mind games, but I just don't like that feeling. Even like gummies and stuff like that, even popcorn now, I basically just like suck on till like it's really soft.
Wow.
Just like, oh, it bothers me so much.
You need to go Pirate's Booty. Have you ever had that?
No.
Yeah. Trader Joe's has it. Do you have Trader Joe's over there?
No, but I know what it is.
Okay. They sell this thing. It comes in a big bag. It's called Pirate's Booty. It's essentially a popcorn, but it has no kernels. I don't know how they do it, but it doesn't have any kernels, and it's like super soft popcorn already. And it's usually flavored with like a white cheddar flavor, or they have a couple other flavors. But fantastic if like you like popcorn, but you hate like how crunchy it is sometimes. Pirate's Booty is legit. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm addicted to movie theater popcorn, so like
Sure.
I have to get it. But it's just like I'm just so scared of.
But it's not good for you.
Yeah, like I'm missing my wisdom teeth. I don't know if I ever told us about the story or not. Missing my wisdom teeth like everybody else. I'm missing the two in the back row on the thing. This is gonna be an IMA thing to explain my entire dental history and the genealogy that screwed me over to this point. That's literally just nothing I can do.
Sure.
Just accept facts, but it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, Guadalupe says best candy skull because I'm from Mexico. Worst is the Lightcore SCL gave out. That didn't taste good. Come on, Matt. You didn't give out. Jeez, Matt. Expect better things from you. Blue Dragon Kaiser BDK says the best candy to get is Milk Duds. The last candy to be eaten is nasty, nameless Mexican candy that might be poisonous. Funny back-to-back tweets irrelevant from Guadalupe from Mexico in this. Funny thing about the Milk Duds, too. Corinne actually got like a thing of it and like didn't know what it was, but she's all excited. She's like, when she's running back from the house, she's like, "Mommy, this one shakes!" She's all excited. It makes some kind of noise. Seabass says best is Reese's, worst is Almond Joy / Mounds. Those will get tossed. But I found a new love for Star Wars Halloween mix. I didn't know it was a thing.
I didn't know either.
Clearance on Target if it's available there.
30% off today.
There you go, man.
By the end of the week, it should be 50. Just saying.
Yeah. Almond Joys are my mom's favorite. So I guess Isaac knew, Joel knew, somebody knew at first, and like got it and took it to grandma. And my mom's like, "Oh, thanks, you're my favorite grandkid." I'm like, "Mother," So then each of the kids progressively then got one for her at like different stops. I was like, "You're terrible, Mom." Brian Billy G. Day Jog says, "I don't throw away candy. I send it to our troops or try to. Best is Justin's natural dark chocolate peanut butter cups. Hashtag spoiled." One thing about the troops, that is a thing, which I learned about a couple years ago. So again, if you have some to throw away, don't feel like throwing it away, don't feel like you're trying to decide something else. Legit, you can donate pretty much like anything to somewhere in the world. So that is the thing you can do if you want to. Box it up, send it over to the troops. But yeah, Justin's natural dark chocolate peanut butter cups. Don't know what that is, but sign me up for whatever it is.
I mean, peanut butter cups had you.
All right, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, Pat made Amy some dairy-free ones the other day.
Ooh.
Because she's lactose. And they weren't too bad. I didn't do the ratio very well, so it was like all chocolate and a little bit of peanut butter in there. And so it got like super hard, so you kind of have like let it melt in your hand for a while before you could eat it. It was pretty good. Morgan Daily Zoom says Kit Kats are the best in my opinion. Runts are pure garbage. Whoa. Runts are okay. Okay.
Runts are okay. Yeah.
They're good. They're like
moderation.
7 pieces like is tops.
Yeah.
And then it's like you're eating like expired chalk.
Your first couple, you're like, okay, lime, better than I remembered. Strawberry, the cherry. Okay, we're feeling good about this. You get to the banana, you're like, I'm not sure if this is really banana flavored. And then you have like a couple more, and that's too much. You should just stop after like your first 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sorry. Lost something here. Genie Dude says best and worst candy colored chopscotch. Best because toys are the best, simple as that. Worst because it's not real candy. That's very, very fair. We also got then Adam Tuttle says Reese's and Warheads love them. Dum Dums, Fireballs, Tootsie Rolls. Out of here with that nonsense. Dum Dums? Who doesn't like Dum Dums?
Right. Dum Dums are nice. I appreciate when like you're at a restaurant and they have like the free Dum Dums for like you're walking out, you're paying your check, and you grab a Dum Dum, and you're like, that's exactly what I need right now.
Yeah, Dum Dums are the best.
Yeah.
I just see someone on my Facebook page posted a picture of Dum Dums, and on his Facebook page is like, question for a first time adult doing things like, do kids still eat Dum Dums, or is that not a thing anymore? You know, that's what he always enjoyed. But
sure.
DMU 2008, all sugar-free sweets, chocolates should be destroyed. Anything with chocolate should be eaten first. It's fair. It's fair. Grizzly Knox, the kids candy because they do the heavy lifting for you. Jeff Grimes 23 says anything that's full or king size is the best. Hashtag get that fun size junk out of here. Get that hard penny candy junk out of here. That's right. There you go. Josh Powers says the best candy is full size candy bars. I'm proud of the community. Yep. Is full size candy bars like Snickers. The worst is generic nasty gummies. That's fair. Gummies I could be like fruit snacks. I could be really hit or miss on. Like some days I'm like I could pound out a box of fruit snacks.
Sure.
By the time I'm like same thing like that. Like I just feel my teeth like just pulling out of my gums.
Sure.
So you kind of like swallow them whole.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe Euler, best are Mound / Reese's cups. Last thrown away is candy corn. Where do you fall on candy corn?
I'm okay with candy corn.
I'm okay with candy corn.
Yeah.
Moderation, same thing on it. Like
sure.
After 5, I'm done.
Well, because it has like that toffee flavor, like that butterscotch toffee flavoring to it, which
sure.
I appreciate. Once you get too many, you don't want to eat candy corn for a while, right?
Sure.
But a little bit, a few here and there, like one of the little small packages, sign me up.
I will say, I do agree that some people say like there's the different layers taste better than some of them. I can't remember right now off the top of my head which layer is the best, but like there was some times where I'd eat like a third or 2/3 of it and throw the nasty part away. But that I can understand. The pumpkins, not big on the candy pumpkins.
Too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like the equivalent of like 3 candy corn at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Driscoll, Mule Museum says best candy for me has to be Reese's. Reese's one a day, man. While the worst would have to be Almond Joy / Mounds. I just can't stand coconut. Fact, coconut is nasty. Joe Euler says coconut is awesome. Michael just says if I eat coconut or once, I feel sick, so I have my reasons. So that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, William Thorndike says the best candy is the whatchamacallit, and no candy ever gets thrown away at my house. There you go. Just jam it through. And finally, Shopkins acquired a tweet out 38 minutes ago. He's getting late. He or she's getting late with these tweets, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tired of hanging out with Atari Alex too much.
Yeah. Bad news, that Atari Alex.
But tweet out who gives out candy for Halloween and posted shopping cart full of Shopkins.
Yeah.
But
a lot of good answers, Jason. How are you picking one from this bunch?
Am I picking this week?
Yeah, you are, buddy.
Oh, jeez Louise.
I know. Look.
Oh, my.
Look, you had such an amazing presence with your full-size candy bars at Halloween that I feel like you're probably the expert
sure
to pick this.
Lone Goldfish, I missed his tweet replying to Shopkins saying, Lightcore Hex is about as cheap as candy, which is true. Really, get the same amount. You can get them for the same amount as buying candy bars. Man.
It's tough.
I think I'm gonna give it to Malika Rose of Death.
All right.
Because I forgot about the orange black candy trash. I don't think I've seen it in a while because I think everybody universally agrees those are nasty.
They're always in those mixed bags that if your candy has to be shoved into a mixed bag of other candy just for it to sell, you know that's hot garbage.
It's like there was the fireworks bundles when you spent like a $64 value and they chuck in that trash just to make it seem like you get one good thing and then a buttload of this trash. That's what this is. It's just space filler to make it seem like you're getting a big bag. Yeah, because what is that? Nobody knows what it is. Who makes it? It's just awful.
Yeah. So congratulations, Malik. Get a hold of me. Let me know which amiibo of the new ones that are coming out that you want, and I'll get that ordered for you and all that good stuff. So thank you just to the community in general for being fantastic in your choices of candy. We may disagree with some of your trash candies, but for the most part, none of you picked any egregious best candies.
Sure.
You know, most of them, almost all of them, I'll accept as, yeah, that's probably somebody's best candy. Like, if somebody had picked the orange and black candies as their favorite candy, they're out of the community. You're gone.
Sure.
Turn in your name tag. That was fun. I like that. We do not have an inquire this question this week. So we're going to go right to the emails. And the email part of the podcast. Oh, you know what? I made a mistake.
Uh-oh.
Atari Alex, host of the ABC podcast. Go find it on iTunes and anywhere podcasts are sold. He sent in an email about the community question because he couldn't fit it into a tweet.
Okay.
So I completely forgot to read it. So we kind of disqualified him from winning. But I'll read it now. He said, I needed to write an email because my response is longer than Twitter would allow. My favorite candy is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, hands down. But I can go to the store and buy those any old time. My favorite Halloween candy is Dots. They may not be the best candy out there, and they may get stuck in your teeth like nobody's business, but Dots is the epitomizes the Halloween season for me and takes me back to a simpler days of childhood. My least favorite candy is candy corn. When I was 6 years old, I ate an entire bag of candy corn by myself in one evening. Naturally, I Ralphed later that night, and the sight of that pile of bright orange puke traumatized me for life. Just thinking about it makes me want to toss my cookies.
That's fair.
So, Alex, I'm sorry I didn't read as part of the community question. You wouldn't have won anyway. But still... Thank you for writing in and telling us that fantastically disturbing, gross story. We're going to move on to emails. Like I said, email, part of the podcast, is sponsored by our friend Evan Parker, a.k.a. The Lone Goldfish on Twitter. You could go find all of his shenanigans over on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/The Lone Goldfish. Go over there, follow him. I think he's playing Skylanders Imaginators. If not, he's playing something else. I'm sure of it. Go over there, say hi, tell him what's up. So thank you, Evan Parker, for sponsoring the email part of the podcast. Jason, we have 2 emails tonight.
Let's do it.
First one is going to be from Atari Alex. It says, Dear Josh and Jason, in honor of the World Series, if you could make a professional baseball team out of the Toys to Life figures, what would you name your team, and who would be on your roster? Here's mine. The Central City Stompers. Now it's your turn to get stomped on. At Toys R Us Field. His lineup consists of Mario, the catcher. He has previous baseball experience and is a great all-around athlete. Superman, pitcher. Super strength plus super speed make it basically impossible for opposing batters to hit the ball. Slam Bam, first base. 2 arms equals twice as many chances to catch the ball. Sonic, second base. Super speed makes it easier to tag more runners. Kirby, shortstop. His inhalation power gives him an extended range to catch balls, plus his strike zone would be minuscule. Shulk, third base. He could see the future, enough said. And then Benny, Stormblade, and Buzz Lightyear in the outfield. They could fly. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. That's his roster. That's a solid lineup.
I know. So I'm trying to like.
How many of those can you steal?
Pop. Yeah. Catcher. What did he say for catcher?
Mario, all around athlete.
Oh, that's right.
Baseball experience.
Catcher. I'll say Donkey Kong. Got the big mitts.
Mm-hmm. Got to have a big hand to play catcher, and strong knees.
Pitcher, Superman, I understand. My first thought was, because again I was thinking Nintendo characters. Captain Falcon gotta have a wicked arm, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I would think. First base, stick with Nintendo characters. You gotta stick your big fat people in first base, you know, because they don't run a lot. Big powers. Got to put Wario.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Big stopper there on first base. Second base. And this is all Toys Life, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
So Disney Infinity is still out there. I mean,
yeah. Trying to think. Second base is like a weird position. I mean, you could really pick the generic person to put on there. I'm just gonna put Randall from Monsters Inc. Why? Because who cares?
I would use him as like a pinch runner,
Yeah, that's fair.
being able to go invisible. You know.
I was invisible and might think, oh, look at this giant hole, you know, gap there in midfield, and then psych, no, it's not.
Sure.
Shortstop. I would say, yeah, another fast. So Dash Disney Infinity.
Oh yeah, good call.
Dash in there.
Mm-hmm.
Third base, hot corner.
See, that's where I would have put Slam Bam.
Yeah.
You know, third base. I mean, I understand what he's going with for the first base, but third base, man, you need somebody that could go either side of the ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal yours. Yeah, Slam Bam there. Put a bunch of arms out there.
Mm-hmm.
Right field. BTW Cubs just won.
Game 7 tomorrow.
Game 7 tomorrow night. Be there, be square.
What about
Yeah,
Yoshi?
for out. Yeah, Yoshi. Yeah, use the tongue advantage. There's no rule against that.
Sure, and he has like a little bit of hover, so it's not full on cheating by flying around, but you know, just enough to get up to the wall. You know.
Sure. Let's see. Center field got a lot of ground to cover. You could put Sonic there if you wanted. Another fast character. Left field. Left field's a lot of pop-ups. So I'm thinking maybe a bigger character, maybe. You know, put Mega Yarn Yoshi out there.
Okay.
You know. Don't
Yep.
necessarily be fast. Mega Yarn Yoshi. I mean, there's a lot of body weight there. You think there's got to be a lot of weight to push around. You know.
Yeah.
Put some big power back. I guess he could be DH too.
It's tough.
It is tough.
I feel like we're missing like somebody obvious.
Oh, we definitely are.
Yeah. Can we use Harry Potter somewhere?
I mean, you can use him in the outfield. You
Yeah.
can use his spells on the ball to slow him down and stuff, you know.
Sure.
Not fully cheating, but then, like, you know, it's like Angels in the outfield kind of stuff. You can do crazy stuff without people noticing. Oh, DH. The doy. Put Thor in there, man.
Or Cap.
Yeah.
Thor, though, man. I mean, he's swinging a hammer around that's pretty much a bat.
Yeah, you know, it's the college baseball aluminum bat.
Sure. Ding. I'm going to have to think on this a little bit.
Yeah.
To go any further with it. But Alex, thank you so much. We really like your roster for sure.
I feel like this needs to be a question tomorrow to celebrate Game 7. Like, just put it on Twitter.
Yeah, let's do that.
You know? So, make yourself a note, because I'm not going to remember.
Nope, I will. I got it. Last email of the night. This is from DMU Girl 2008. She also sent me a message and said she was going to ask some Harry Potter related questions, but she decided not to for fear of spoiling anything for me. So definitely appreciate that, DMU Girl. But she did have some interesting questions for us. Lightseekers. She said in an interview, Mark Gerhard, head of PlayFusion, said players will be able to form guilds. Will you guys form a Toys for Games community guild? And if so, where can I sign up?
Sorry, can you repeat that? You broke up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
About the guild. I heard the guild, but I didn't hear what for.
Yeah, she said players will be able to form guilds. Will you guys form a Toys for Games community guild? And if so, where can I sign up?
In what game?
Lightseekers.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, if we can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Mark Gerhard, the head of PlayFusion Studios, said in an interview that players will be able to form guilds.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if we had the capability of whatever to make some kind of structured thing, we will as best we could. I mean, obviously, can't speak on it as far as what details are involved with it. Some guild stuff I like, some guild stuff I'm like, this isn't really worth your time or effort. But I mean, if it's something we can doable, then yeah, absolutely.
Number 2 with Lightseekers, she said, since buying the physical cards and figures are optional and the game is completely free, are you worried at all about Lightseekers not making enough money?
I think their approach is going in somewhat at a loss and hoping to, I mean, not necessarily a loss, but break even, and then go from there and hope it catches on, because again, they haven't hit the storefront yet. So, I mean, that's when the large income will be. So I think it's a smart strategy, to be honest. Get into the hands. It seems like it's a game that people are going to want to be talking about, doing stuff like that. So they might just get a lot of word of mouth on there, and then move on like that. Speaking about games not making money, Daniel Dwyer, a video game journalist out there,
formerly of GameSpot.
Yeah, now his own Patreon to talk about video game documentaries, and they're super good. He just released the first one. It's a 2-part release. When I saw the 2-part, like I got it, but I was like, man, I want to wait a while for the second part. It was just the next day. I'm like, okay, that's fair. I actually enjoy that format. On Rocket League, super interesting. Super interesting. It's about 40 minutes of content total. If you've played the game or know anything about the game, go check it out. Because again, they were talking about that, and they weren't allowed to talk about how many players redeemed it free on the PlayStation thing. Basically, what they said, they almost didn't release a PC game, and if they didn't, they would have went under because so many people redeemed a free one, well above theirs and PlayStation's expectations, that they were afraid that no one was going to purchase the game because so many people were getting it free in PlayStation Plus. They weren't allowed to say how many people redeemed it on PlayStation Plus, but they were able to say how many players they have and how many copies they've sold. So you can kind of just subtract the two and get a rough estimate on how many people got it on PlayStation Plus. And it's like a heck ton of people. Right. So again, there's different business strategies that work out. So we'll see if it works out for him.
Yeah. It's called No Clip.
Yes, No Clip, sorry.
Yeah, is the name of the documentary series that he's doing. So fantastic.
No Clip vids or videos or vids on Twitter.
Yeah.
No Clip on YouTube.
I'm so excited to see like where this goes and what else, because there are so many stories out there that need told, and the general games journalism media just can't do, because there's new games coming out all the time. There's previews to do of new things. It's so hard to go back and dive into stuff that's already come out and tell those stories, because we're in such a fast-paced world that you're always moving on to the next thing. So
right,
love it. Demigo had a couple questions about Skylanders Academy. I don't know if you'll be able to answer these too much, but who is your favorite character and why? So far.
So far, I mean, I like it. It's just nice to see Spyro get a bunch of stuff in there. So I'm liking him a lot, but I know I'm probably going to end up liking some funny, stupid character at the end. Like even Eruptor, I'm enjoying stuff with him. So
yeah, Eruptor's fun. Honestly, this is not even being facetious in any way, shape, or form. I love Stealth Elf.
Really?
Yeah. Ashley Tisdale does the voice.
Yep.
The character is written so well. She kind of acts as like the mature one in the group.
Sure. She's
kind of the quasi leader of the group, even though like Spyro is definitely like the main character that they're focusing on. She's kind of like the Hermione of the group. Sure. That's a Harry Potter reference. She's just fantastic. Like everything about what they're doing with the Stealth Elf character in this show, I love. I absolutely love it. And then you have Chaos, and it's almost impossible to pick anybody other than Chaos because he's so perfect.
Yeah.
Head to toe.
I was curious if they didn't get Chaos's voice act, like whether that was a non-starter, like if they had to agree with him before they even agreed to make the TV show, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because like if they didn't have him, you didn't have the show.
100%. If they changed the voice of Chaos, this show would not have happened.
No.
Nobody would be watching it. No Skylanders fans would be watching it, at least. Later, like, he starts interacting with Doomlanders.
Sure.
It's so good. Anyone you dislike?
Not particularly so far. I guess there's one character you dislike so far, but Yeah, I haven't had anybody really.
Sure. Yeah, Glumshakes, I don't dislike the character. I just dislike the fact that it's not the voice that we're used to. So, then she says, "Do you think the show will actually improve sales of the game and figures?"
I think it could. I mean, I was gonna be like a significant amount. It's definitely going to do something. There's no way it hurts it. I don't know if it's enough to like make it this huge financial, bump on it, but there's no way it wouldn't. There's no way.
Yeah. It should at least, at the very least, help it, or at least keep it relevant and keep it afloat,
Yep.
Last question, Amiibo related. What info do you think will come up in tomorrow's direct? We kind of covered it, but any bold predictions you have here, Jason?
I will say 3 Amiibo will get announced.
That we don't already know about.
That we don't already know about.
Whoo! I'll say 4.
All right.
We're definitely getting more Amiibo than just the cards. I'll tell you that. That's my not so bold prediction. With that being said, though, Jason, that wraps up the show, my friend.
It was a good, solid show.
It was fun. It was a fun night. Where can people find you at?
You can always follow my Toys of Life centric accounts at Brick Inquirer and Skylanders Acquire. Both of those have a dedicated Facebook and Twitter account, so be sure to look for those as well. You can always follow me personally in all my happenings on twitter.com/JasonInquires. Also, that is the handle for my Instagram and YouTube pages, so be sure to check that out as well.
Definitely. You can follow me personally on Twitter at The Noise. You can follow the show on Twitter, which you absolutely should be doing, at Toys for Games. You could email us, podcast@toysforgames.com. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Toys for Games. Everything that we do is up on the website, toysforgames.com. If you'd like to support us and what we do, you could do so over on Patreon, patreon.com/toysforgames. And one last reminder, Extra Life this weekend, Saturday, midnight to midnight, 24 hours, me playing video games, having fun, some guest appearances, hopefully, giveaways, contests, maybe tournaments with the community. If you want to just come out and watch, it'll be on twitch.tv/toysforgames. I'll have the links up and everything for the donation page. I'm trying to raise money for the Extra Life charity. All money raised goes to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. So it's all a good cause, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So come out, hang out with me on Saturday. Watch me play some games, and it should be fun. It's going to be exciting.
Indeed, I'm excited for it. I'll be around, so I'm hoping I can tune in at some point.
Okay,
maybe in a chat for a little bit, but can't make any promises. But I'm really hoping to.
You're a busy guy. I mean, drop in when you can. I'll be there. I'll be there from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. I'll still be playing games, my friend.
I'll be there for you.
I'll be up all night waiting for you to wake up. It's gonna be fun. So, with that being said, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for your continued support as always. Jason, thank you for another amazing episode. 5 more to go. Episode 100 that's coming up. We'll talk about it next week. We have some plans, but wanted to focus on the Extra Life this week. Next week, episode 100 and beyond. But until then, happy hunting, collectors.